pull the belt in on the right hand side there. Okay, mind your delicate little head. Oh, sorry. Hold on. This is in the way. So, what I want to work out is we want to put an extra set of bars from the roll hoop forward.
Yeah.
Just give us more. There we go. Give us more safety, really, and kind of protect your shoulders, or the driver's shoulders, because you're not necessarily the driver. You still have to pass like your driving school and stuff like that. So the thing about it is, though, we don't want them to get in the way, those bars. So put your hands on the steering wheel there properly, as if you were driving. So there's still plenty of room either side. So the trick is going to be, how do we run it from here down? I guess elbows could get in the way.
But I'm not going to drive like that.
Yeah, but some of the time you will, though, as you go to like
Like when I go like...
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to change the body?
Yeah, so the bodywork will possibly need to change. Like if you put your elbows out there for a sec. Yeah. And shoulder-wise, you're fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next question is, how do we kind of simulate those bars? Because we've got to give John the measurements to actually weld everything in there. So any thoughts or ideas how to actually do that? Because here's just a simple, quick thing. Like if that's a bar coming there, like how does that feel? Like it is against your shoulders a bit, isn't it?
Not when I'm straight. Like if I'm like...
Well, you
But I
will.
shouldn't be able to... But I shouldn't be able to be going like that if I have my seatbelts on.
Yeah, possibly not. You know, it shouldn't be that much, but we definitely need to. We'll pour a seat so it'll give you more support in there. But it is going to move you around a bit.
But I don't think I'll be going like that when I'm turning.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You won't. You'll need the leverage of kind of bending your elbows a little bit. If you're dead straight and your elbows are right inside. You're actually a little bit far from the steering wheel, maybe. No, you're probably okay. Okay, so the question is, how do we just get a sense of what's going to work or not here? So...
Why do we have to put a bar up here? We don't have one right now. Won't we just have one at the back again?
Say that again?
Won't we just have a
We
bar
will
at
have
the
one at the
back?
back. We'll have exactly the same one, probably. But what we need to do is, seeing as we're doing this work now to add safety, we should have some protection for you. There's no protection, basically, above your hip line.
Yeah.
And more newer cars will have bars that go all the way along here to the front. But the problem with that is we have the gear stick in the way.
Yeah.
So that ain't gonna work. We could do it. We could actually get it here. That would work. That would be kind of the best bet. If we had the room to go forward like that. But if you, as you put your hand on the shifter there, you would have a bar coming along here or along there.
Mm-hmm.
So that would not.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's take the bodywork off so we can kind of get a sense of where those bars are going to be. Give me a second here, I'll take it off.
No, it's okay. I got it.
So it can't be any higher than this because that's where the bodywork is. The simplest way to do it is just a straight bar down to there, actually.
Yeah.
So how can we...
Would that fit with the body?
Yeah, well, we'll put the bodywork back on and just confirm that it does fit. I guess what we could do just for right now is just a piece of string, which will be will give us an idea at least. Where's the string, Luke?
To know?
Actually, a bit of tape. Just for an idea here. It'll give us a first look. So let's just put this on there. And then I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea. Maybe we found a really good way of doing it. That's about to come off, I think. Okay, well, interestingly, the first thing I can see is it's pretty close to your shoulders.
It's not that close. Most of that's just my hoodie.
Okay. All right, can you put the bodywork back on?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to blame you if it messed things up because you put the bodywork back on. All right, let's have a little look here. All right, well, that didn't work because it just kind of, as you can probably see.
Just pinched it under.
Yeah, but this one, okay. So
there is actually space in the body in there for...
Yeah.
Might have to adjust that a little bit. And then we would just cut that off, basically.
Yeah. So that general space is available, I think.
Probably wouldn't.
So that's as close as a bar would get to you, if that makes sense.
If my elbow's out there, then it's fine.
So then the next question is, how much room do we have to go a little bit higher? Oh, it might have to arc out a little bit as well. What if it was further forward? Actually, further forward would
give my elbows less room.
Would it?
If it was further forward?
Yeah, so your elbows right now are kind of clearing it, okay. And if it was further forward, then, well, if we had it all the way up here, what does that get us, though? Okay. I kind of think that might be it.
That wouldn't even offer as much support if we put it up there.
Yeah, correct. So... Okay. Now, you and I have pretty narrow shoulders. So, just thinking about other drivers or selling the car in the future, I think maybe arcing the bar would actually help.
But then that makes it a lot trickier for the body.
No, not necessarily, because I think it has to be anyway a bit arced. So there would be a bend basically in it.
That usually is what an arc is.
Yeah, smart arse, that is correct. Okay, so then we need to work on the front roll hoop. So let's take the bodywork off again, please. Do you have to do it with the same hand?
No.
Okay, works for both.
I've seen it like that before.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we also want to put a roll hoop at the front because this is actually the only thing. This is the highest point of the chassis, if you like. There's a mount there, or a brace rather, for the steering.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we work that one out? So it's all about clearance with the bodywork.
Well, you kind of want it like there to protect the knees almost, right?
Yeah, so, but that could go like this, a bend like that, straight across and a bend down. It sort of depends on the shape of the bodywork, but actually...
But we can kind of tell because of this.
Yeah, but right, that's... Yeah, you're right, it is sort of fairly flat on the... I think maybe we just give John kind of the latitude to work that out. The other problem, though, is once you put this here, it gets tight to get into things at the dash. So that's a little bit of a pain.
So you'd want it further forward?
Yeah, but the further forward,
then
the lower it becomes.
Yeah.
So now once the dash is there, there's not too much we need to get into. The other way is we could mount the dash in a way that it actually comes off.
Mm-hmm. Take the rivets out.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we have a bit of a plan. What is our plan?
Probably some sort of bar like that. Across there, there.
Put with a bend in it because
Bend
it comes out to the... Yeah, so it comes out to the edge of the bodywork, which gives enough clearance for shoulders. And we want that as high as possible as well. Okay, we're going to go either 3.5 or 4 inches extra on the roll hoop. Kind of where it's welded and mounted should stay pretty much identical. So 2 of those. The other thing I'll ask John about is whether it makes sense to, like where this guy is. Might make sense actually to have another bar come up here and just support it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not a huge amount of extra work to do that while you're in there. And then the front hoop is, we'll leave it to him, but basically you gotta get it as close to the dash without being in the way constantly, and also as high as it can, so it doesn't interfere with the bodywork.
Yeah.
Sound like a plan?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Now that we've worked out roughly the changes to the chassis we need to make, specifically the roll hoop, so we passed the broomstick test, we can start actually, and I say we, by we I mean me, can start dismantling the car. So a couple of different things we need to do, but the first thing we're going to do today is take out the fuel cell because it needs to be recertified. So let's start. Okay, so what is the fuel cell? Well, the fuel cell is kind of a fancy type of fuel tank that we have in race cars. It's hidden behind this guy in here, and it's got foam in it so that if there's an accident and the car kind of gets torn apart, that it will try and keep the fuel together rather than spraying it everywhere, because spraying hot fuel on a motor will usually result in a fire. So here's the challenge. We have about 2 or 3 gallons of fuel in the fuel cell, and we've got to get that out before we can safely take the fuel cell itself out. We are going to see how much gravity can help us here. So this hose here, no, it's not actually that one. It is this one in here. It's probably a little bit hard to see, but this hose here comes up to fuel filter into the fuel pump, and then up into the carb. And so what I'm going to try is taking off the line here at the input, the inlet into the fuel pump. We are going to drop it straight into this guy here, and with a little bit of luck we'll get a siphoning effect whereby the fuel cell is the fuel in the fuel cell is actually higher than the fuel can here, and hopefully it'll all just flow straight into the can. But I don't know, let's see if it actually works. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So here's what we're looking at. Here's the outlet, or sorry, the inlet for the fuel. That's just a little breather pipe. We've got the cover, and then we've got the actual cell. And so I'm going to take this bad boy off, and then we'll be able to get to the cell, and then we'll work on removing the fuel that's in it and disconnecting it, and we can go from there. So start with the Zeus buttons. Another little tip is one of these guys. It's great for just keeping the nuts and bolts together that you are working with. That's aluminum, so this is magnetic. It doesn't actually stick to that. I think that's aluminum as well. Is it? Oh, it's the roll hoop is not aluminum, aka aluminium. So let me just find the right tools here. I think it's 7/16. I've got to get rid of this guy and this guy as well. Yes. And there are little button head screws down here, just lightly holding our cover in place. See if we can get this to work. Let's try this guy. Okay, that is one done. Let's come across to the other side. Let's get the other one done. So once we take this off, you'll see that there is a certification label on the fuel cell, and this fuel cell actually is 5 years old, and that's when they need to get recertified, or just under 5 years old. And ironically, I think it's only had one full bladder or cell's worth of fuel in it, because it was took a little while to put this car together. So let's take this guy off. Just to give you an idea of the amount of work that goes into a race car, this is something that I made. It's a custom piece. So made it out of aluminum, measured it, cut it in various different places. You can see there's a reasonable, for me anyway, reasonable amount of work has gone into this, and then we had to bend it as well to get it into shape. So custom piece for this car and that fuel cell. But here we are, here's the fuel cell. So hopefully you can see that. Let me turn another light on. And this guy here is a certification, and so it's not valid after March 2026, and here we are just at the end of 2025. So that's why it's got to go back. Now, the next thing is, how are we going to get that remaining fuel out? And my idea at this point is to get the fuel cell out gently and then just raise it up. So what you guys can't quite see is that the fuel line goes in here, and I need to clear that somehow. This is the frustration that comes with this stuff. So there's a hose clamp on there, which is stopping me from getting it out. Of course, if I open the hose clamp, what's going to happen? All the fuel's going to come out. So I want to see if I'm going to have to lose a little bit of fuel, but of course everything is now in the way. The alternative is I could take out the safety belts, because that would allow me to bring the fuel cell this way and not rotate it, but yeah, I really don't want to take the belts out at this point. Although, to be fair, they do need to come out anyway, because we're going to be welding. So, all right, there we go. The belts are coming out. Actually, they're relatively easy because they're just held in with captive nuts. Okay, so I know as you said we were doing the fuel cell, but we're not. We're doing the fuel cell and the belts. Okay, the belts are out. Let's see if we get a little bit more lucky here now when we try to push the fuel cell out. Still kind of stuck. Okay, good. The hose is through. There's a little bit of fuel in the. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not in our little container. Yeah, it feels like there's a bit of weight in there. All right, bit of fuel, that is. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, I got some fuel coming out. Not a tremendous amount, but we got some. And the nice thing is, it's coming through the filter. Yeah, it's running now. Looks pretty clean, which is nice. There's one little challenge, of course, which is the container's about to be full. I do have another one of those somewhere. Told you I was good at making messes. Okay, you'll never believe, but that actually took longer than I thought it would take. Just like everything with racing cars. So here's where the fuel cell used to be. You can see just how dirty it is, and that's after one race weekend. I did have a slight off one time, but that was brand new a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, we can clean all of that up. Let's have a look at the fuel cell. Okay, here's the fuel cell. Made by Fuel Safe. You can see it's FIA certified, and you can see it expires here in March 2026. So time to get it recertified. To give you a feel for what it's like a bladder. It's kind of a soft rubber bladder, and it's got foam inside it, and so it fits. It's custom. Actually, I believe this might be a Crossle custom or standard rather fuel cell, and this is the outlet here. Inlet is here. I've taken out our kind of hose. you know, it's a pretty good thing for safety purposes. Wildly expensive. That one is a standard one. I think it's about $1,600. So if you want to get a custom one, I think it's probably closer to about $2,000. But the good news is we can get it recertified, all going well, and we'll get another 2 years out of it. I will say we won't ship it this week. Going to leave it a little week for it to just air out and make sure there's no fuel in. I don't want to send it through the mail with any kind of sense or smell of fuel coming off it. So it'll go in the next week or so, and I think it takes 4 to 6 weeks, so hopefully we get it back before the end of the year. Okay, well, pretty successful weekend for us. We got the measurements done for the roll hoop, which is great. Front roll hoop, rear roll hoop, and those extension bars. And as you saw, got the fuel cell out, and so that is looking good. We're down to 85 days. I think we've got about 40 different tasks still on the list today. I was just thinking about it. You know the way when something's a little bit far out and you're like, oh, it's going to be fine. So right now I'm feeling good, but there's so much more stuff to do, and there's a bunch of things that can go sideways. But the good news is with that fuel cell out now, we can take a bunch more stuff off the car. And the hope is in early December, we'll get it on a trailer down to John, the fabricator, and he'll start on the roll hoop work. And then there's a bunch of stuff we can do in terms of parts here while we are waiting. So fingers crossed, all will go well.